Hey guys, Dead3 here, back once again, and yes, I'm back for another video. I know I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and I'm probably going to be doing a lot more in the next couple of days. I'm just trying to do as many videos as I can in time for Halloween, because I've got some pretty good, videos planned up for the next couple of days. So, yeah, look out for those. But right now, I'm actually back to doing another classic horror review. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, and, yeah, I just finished watching this movie, and so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. Tonight's movie was put out in 1990, and it's based on the novel by, I guess you could say it's a classic novel by probably one of the best horror writers of all time, the legendary Stephen King. The movie is Misery, starring James Caan and Kathy Bates. This is the collector's edition DVD, which I really like. As you can see, it kind of looks like a book. You know, on the side there's a spine, and on the back there's where the pages are. So yeah, it's really good DVD. There's a lot of good special features on here. But I'm basically just going to go ahead and give a short little rundown about the film. Basically, James Caan plays an author named Paul Sheldon, and he's basically written a very popular series of books about a woman named Misery. And yeah, the film opens, and he basically finished off the book, writing it in this hotel room, and he's actually just on his way back home to where he lives, and while he's driving he gets caught into a blizzard, which ends up causing him to swerve off the road and crash, where he's knocked out. And later on he is then rescued by Kathy Bates' character, who's Annie Wilkes is her name, and she basically takes her back to her house and nurses her back to health. And from the opening of the movie, you can tell she seems like a very normal, just older woman, very pleasant, very kind. She has a little cross over her neck, around her neck. She seems very well-mannered and things like that. And she lives in a really nice house. And like everything just seems peaceful, but as things go on, you find out there's something a little bit off about her. She, of course, tells him that she is his biggest fan, and she has read everything that he's written. And you later find out that she's actually a bit obsessed with him, and ends up telling him, that she loves him and she never wants him to leave. And of course, at the beginning of it, he's like, alright, I'll just stay here until this woman nurses me back to health. His legs are really hurt. His legs aren't broken, but he just can't walk on them, so that's why he basically stays in the bed for half the movie. And, yeah, she basically just feeds him and gives him these pills. They're these little red pills. He doesn't know what they are, but she tells him, it's for his pain. So, yeah, as it goes on, she ends up getting he starts writing his, the last novel that he wrote, he shows it to her, and she's really excited to first read it, and when she does, she finds out there's a lot of profanity and swearing in it, and that turns her off. She is completely against that, and she basically tells him that he needs to rewrite it, and of course he says, well, no, because that's how I was grown up, that's how, I was, hang on a minute. Sorry, there was a stink bug on my camera. Anyway, guys, so basically he basically says, well, that's how I grew up. I grew up with that sort of language. And she basically just says, no, that's not right. That's not how it's supposed to be. And basically ends up going off on him. And you find out that she's actually got a really bad temper. And as the movie goes on, it gets worse and worse. I don't want to give too much away anymore, but I'm pretty sure that everybody who's heard about this movie probably knows the whole plot. But I don't want to give too much more about it away. Eventually, the sheriff of the town finds out that he's missing. He goes searching for him, and at the same time, newspapers is all saying things like, "Oh yeah, he's presumed dead." So nobody was really looking for him until the sheriff sort of gets a hint while he's reading one of the Misery books, and then that sort of leads him to Kathy Bates' character's house, and I guess you can kind of tell where it goes. As for my thoughts on the movie, this movie was made, of course, in 1990, so it's got a good 90s feel. It's slow moving, but I really like that because throughout the entire movie you get to know both characters. You know, you get the James Caan's character and Kathy Bates. And you know, it's really, really good. It's a really great pathological horror film, and in a way, it's actually realistic because I can actually see this happening. I can actually see somebody going this insane over being obsessed by, you know, an Arthur or a actor or whatever, and basically holding him hostage. And she basically does. She makes it where he basically cannot move. Of course, there's the legendary scene right here where she basically uses a sledgehammer and she puts a block of wood in between his legs and basically breaks his ankles where he can't leave. You know, and she ties him to the bed and keeps getting him shots. Basically makes him fall asleep. So yeah, the movie's very suspenseful as well. There's a lot of good suspense to it. There's really no blood or anything like that. That's one thing I love about movies like this. They don't rely on blood or gore. They rely on creepiness and, you know, mind games, and, you know, it's just like I said, it's very psychological, you know, and you can tell that she sort of had a split personality from you know, the sweet old woman. Well, she wasn't really that old, but the sweet woman compared to the psychopath. And yes, so yeah, if you have not seen Misery, I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. I've not read the novel, but I really hope to someday. But yeah, this is a really, really great film. You know, you can get it pretty much anywhere, so I definitely recommend picking it up if you haven't seen it. I'm sure everybody has, but I just wanted to give my own thoughts on the film. Like I said, really good one, very suspenseful, psychological, just a great thriller all around. Well, that is it, guys. That is my new classic horror review for Misery. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow where I'll be doing a couple more of my ranking videos. And during the last 2 days of October, I will be talking about my top 20 favorite horror movies of all time. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my review of Misery. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, and here's a little question for you guys. If you guys were in that sort of situation, like if somebody was holding you captive against your will, what would you do in that situation? Because when I was watching that movie, I was kind of like thinking to myself, man, you know what? If that was me, I'd do this, or I'd do something different. I'd break through the window, and or I'd go do something. And this is one thing I really like about the movie and movies like this. It makes you think, and it gets you involved a lot more in the story. So if you're in that situation, what would you do? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see everybody later.